Yeah. What's going on, everyone? Ains here, Season Gaming, and it is finally time. Been waiting to do this unboxing for a long time now. Ordered the statue a long time ago. Very large, as you can see, an expensive statue that I'm very excited about. Before we get started, a couple things about this one that's going to be a little bit different. So one, there's obviously a ton to unpack, a lot to unpack here for our cast co-op fans. So I will just talk through the details real quick, and then I'm going to do what I usually do, but I'm going to kind of move all this stuff out of the way and kind of get everything unpacked before coming back to you. And then, as always, later on in the video, I will bring the detail in up close and give some high-res pictures at the end. And I'm going to compare this one against a couple other 1 to 4 statues as well, just to show off the size of this one. So, a couple details on this one. It is Prime 1 Studio. Again, we've done a lot with them lately. They made 3 versions of this statue. This is the normal one. Normally I get the Ultimate, I get the Exclusive, I get the Deluxe, whatever their special version is. And the funny thing is, there's 2 core reasons why I only got the normal one for this. One is that when I think of Doom and Doomslayer, I grew up with the original Doom. I'm an old head, we know this. I think of the Super Shotgun, the double barrel. And that's what I was always going to have him displayed with. The sword is awesome. It's not what I think of with Doom. The chainsaw is awesome. I was tempted, which brings me to reason number 2. This statue, the standard edition one, is $1,800. When you factor in tax and shipping and all those things, you're looking at a nearly $2,500 statue right here. They made 150 of these. This is number 10, so got a nice low number on this one. Now, they made a deluxe version, which comes with the Doom Eternal sword, which is another $200. So you're paying $200 just to get the sword. They only made 100 of those, so very limited. The thing is, the ultimate version, the third version, is the one that comes with the chainsaw. And of course, they knew people wanted the chainsaw. But that one is $2,400 base price. And they made 250 of them. So the interesting thing here is, when you compare to this with the Super Shotgun here, and this Doomslayer statue, the Ultimate Edition is not only $600 more just for the sword and chainsaw, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, but they actually made more of them, so it's less exclusive. And that's really odd. You don't see that very often, and I'm wondering if they did that just because they thought so many people would want the chainsaw, but the price they were charging for it, I just couldn't, even as much as I spent on these statues to begin with, I couldn't justify it. So, sorry a little long-winded there, but I wanted to give you the context. So, the interesting thing about the statue, though, is it's a 1 to 3. So, all the statues we looked at recently, most of the statues I've done videos on, are 1 to 4 scale. They're usually about 2 feet tall, somewhere in that ballpark or so. This is a 1 to 3. So, according to Prime 1's site, from base to the top of the shotgun that he's holding upright, so it's above his head, this statue is almost 4 feet tall. It's like 46 inches, which is kind of crazy. So I'm super excited to get into this. Like I said, been waiting a long while. So with that, let me go ahead, get these boxes undone. We'll start to see what's what. I'll get the core pieces spread out here, and I'll come back to you. All right, so I've gotten all the pieces out. And, I'm a bit older, seasoned, I'm a geek, so it sounds really stupid when I say it. I recognize that ahead of time. But bruh, look at this. It's hard. The scale right now is strange due to the camera setup, but I'll show you how big this thing is. So, there you go. Doomslayer, Masterline, Prime 1 Studio out of 150, number 10. And this base is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. I took the lid off of the box, and I just started laughing. So it is huge. In fact, it extends kind of like several inches on either side of this table I'm working with. By the way, this will hopefully be the last statue video I do back in this kind of area of my game room. It's not where I normally am, but that's neither here nor there. The good news is there's only about 10 total pieces, which is nice, especially after that Ghost of Tsushima Jin statue, which had like 50. So this shouldn't take too long to set up, but as you can see here, at least you know now, and like I said, I'll give you more detail here shortly, but this is wild. Absolutely wild. The good news is it looks like everything is intact and it shouldn't be a problem. Some of the core stuff here is incredible. Now, even more wild is here is the core Doomslayer body or torso. So, again, you can see how big this is. I am 6'1", about 215 pounds or so. So this kind of gives you some sense of scale as to how big this damn statue is. It's massive. As I tend to say, you know, I'll talk about it more shortly, but the detail's phenomenal. Paint job is really, really strong too. In fact, let me put this down carefully here. May do some sets with him later. In fact, I was looking at some of the details here. For instance, his arm, right? It's even got like the stress on the actual skin that you would have for like an older guy. It's even got like for a pale white guy, it's even got like the texturing of like the red dots and everything else right on the skin. I mean, it looks realistic. It's such a fantastic paint job. So here's the helmet, good old Doomslayer helmet. The really neat thing here, which I will show you when up close again, is that behind the visor there's actually a face. It's not just empty. There's a face behind it, so it gives you that depth when looking at it. Let me go ahead and just put these pieces together. Shouldn't take long. I'll bring it right back and we'll start to talk about this thing as complete. So there you go, fully assembled. That only actually took a couple minutes. It was way easier than the Jin statue or even some of the other smaller statues I've done, just because the pieces are so big and it's so distinct. What I'm finding hilarious looking at the camera right now is even at this angle, right, and the whole frame we have, the top of the gun is out of frame. So again, look at where this statue's sitting, right about, it's just above my knee, and the gun is, you know, almost height level here, head level here, and like I said, I'm 6'1". This is a huge statue. In fact, I kind of moved it over to the corner of this little table because it's so heavy that I'm not sure if I put it in the center. I'm kind of worried about the table, but this is effing amazing. Absolutely amazing. I knew this one was going to be amazing, but you know, when you get these in real life and you get to look at them up close and really kind of get to see them, they usually blow you away. And it's a shame because the video and pictures won't do it justice. It's something, this is one of those ones you need to see in person. So let me do this. Let me try and reorganize. I'll bring the camera in a little closer and I'll walk through some of the details. Okay, so believe it or not, that's about the best I'm going to be able to do, because what I did, if I frame out so much to actually get top to bottom of this base, you can't see the detail. So I'm being kind of counterproductive. So let me spin this around so you can see everything on it, and then like I said, right at the tail end of the video, like I usually do, I'll give you a whole bunch of kind of high-res photos of all the details. But so you've got Doomslayer standing here. I'll start at the Super Shotgun here, the Doom Eternal version. So it's got the blades on top, the wood grain, really well done. It's got the whole, you know, you can kind of see all the grain in it. Even the metal work looks realistic. It looks aged almost, which is awesome. On the helmet here, like I said, there is a face. There's actually, if you take his head off, there's a battery panel behind here. I went through the box twice just now while doing this, and I cannot find the little batteries, so I don't know if they accidentally got left out. If I'm still missing them, they're hard to find in a giant box like that. Regardless, there is a little push button on the top here. You put the batteries and his face lights up. So I may deal with that later. I usually don't display things lit up anyway because it's a pain to light everything up and off constantly. And then batteries degrade over time anyway, so I didn't bother, you know, putting that in. Obviously, there's the shoulder cannon here. His shoulder arms, or his shoulder plates is what I'm trying to say. Really cool looking. Every little, like, every piece of metal, every little detail here is painted and looks aged. It looks like it's been in a set of armor for a while. Especially the green color here, kind of the core shading on it is beautiful. If you look at something like, and I may bring it over actually, my old Master Chief statue from years ago, the old Sideshow one. It looks great. Fantastic statue. Love Chief to death, obviously. He's my favorite character. But the level of kind of artistry that goes into the paintwork on new statues compared to ones even, like I said, 5 to 10 years ago is phenomenal. It's so much better quality now than it used to be. And of course you pay for it, right? So there's a lot to cover. I don't even have the whole base in the shot, but you know, you've got these spikes and skulls and these things. There's cracks and, you know, the metal here, the horns are all textured. Everything to do with the demon that he's standing on here is cool. There's a whole tail that comes around with spikes on the back. I'll spin it around here in a second. Kind of his mandibles sticking out here. Dead tongue, obviously. And then the fire at the bottom. If I had to nitpick one tiny little thing, it's that the fire coloring itself is probably the least impressive. It's like it's a different texturing of orange and, you know, coloring, which looks pretty good. But it would have been cool if they added some, like, maybe some, what's the thing? Like some resin that would make it look a little more shinier, like actual fire reflect a little bit. I think that would have added a little touch to the statue that would have, you know, made it look just a little bit crazier. So this thing's extremely heavy, like I said. I'm going to spin it around slowly so you can kind of look at the detail. I'm actually going to weigh it here in a second, if possible. I'm going to try anyway. But I'm also being very careful, as you can see, with this table itself, because it's flexing under the weight of this statue. So just bear with me. Jesus. It's got the little pads on the bottom too. I don't want to accidentally scrape off for when you set it on a table. As I said, you can kind of see all the veins in his arms. Yeah, the texture work is phenomenal on this. And again, as I say in a lot of these videos, right, it should be. You're paying an awful lot of money for these statues. So as I bring it back around, you can kind of see, like I said, the whole spine of the demon here. This extra skull with the horns sticking out. You can see his shoulder, his blade in his arm. And just look at the, you know, look at the shadowing, the paintwork, the detail up on his armor on the spine. I mean, it's absolutely insane, man. It's insane. Safe to say, this is going to be one of the biggest showpieces I have in my collection. I have a 1:3 Sub-Zero, which I never did a video on. It's one of my oldest statues, sitting right there. And it's amazing that I used to think that statue was gigantic. It pales in comparison to this. So let me do this. Now that I've kind of shown you the core statue, let me set it back up. I'm going to bring some other statues to compare to, and you'll get a sense of just how big this statue is, even more than you already have. I can't even stand behind it. Like, you lose me. So, brought over a couple just to kind of give you perspective. Sub's a little dusty here, sorry about that. So, I don't think anyone I've ever shown, maybe I have shown this sub before. This is a PCS Toys 1:3 scale Sub-Zero from many years ago. One of my favorite statues. I've had it for a very long time. This was always kind of one of the biggest statues I had. So it is something like 32 inches high, 33 inches high, something like that, almost 3 feet. Over here, which I did a video on, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that, I don't know, it's the Trish statue from the Witcher 3 collection. So for perspective, the Trish statue is an $800 Prime 1 Master Line statue. Beautiful piece, love it. It's been sitting over there with my Witcher collection since I did the video. Sub-Zero, I don't remember the price. We're going back way too long here. Like I said, it's about 33 inches or so. 1:3 Sub-Zero. I don't think I really have to say anything at this point to get the point across of how big Doomslayer is. Like I said, it's a 1:3, but when they talk about actual proportions, like a 1:3, 1:4, 1:6 statue, it's the actual figure, right? And what I've mentioned, so if you take Doomslayer off and compare him to Sub, it's somewhat similar. Doom's still quite a bit bigger. But what I've said in some of my other videos recently, right, is they're really starting to go overboard, or not even overboard, but really more detail in the bases, which is awesome. I love it, right? Like if you look at Sub's base, he's standing on a little ice thing. There's blood from him ripping the spine out, but it's pretty basic. They start to get more detailed recently with the things like the Witcher statues and stuff. We talked about Jin. We talked about Aloy recently. Beautiful piece. But this one just takes it to a whole nother level. I mean, I can't say anything more. I'm just sounding repetitive at this point. So I know this has been one of the longer videos, but I wanted to give you guys really kind of a true look at what this statue is like. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So with that, I am going to take some detailed pictures of this. We'll have them at the tail end of the video. As always, I really, really want to thank you for swinging by, checking this stuff out. This should be the last video, like I said, as I get my game room reorganized and we get everything set back up. We can do videos in a little better section for unboxings. I have a lot more statues coming. In fact, I have the Dark Souls 3. I'm gonna blank on it right now. From oh my gosh, from Pure Arts, Pontiff Sullivan. I have him coming, the exclusive one that's got the double image where it's on his back. So that one's supposed to be 3+ feet tall too. Very expensive piece. So we'll see when that one arrives and if it has any comparison to Doomslayer here. Maybe I'll put them side by side and we'll see. But for now, thank you as always for tuning in to Season Gaming. Appreciate the community so much. We've seen a lot of growth lately, a lot of positivity, a lot of new faces. So if you enjoy what we do, like I said, always check out our Discord, swing by there. We talk about everything from games to collectibles to tech to, you know, off-topic stuff, of course. If you really enjoy what we do, check out the Big Cast every Sunday morning. It's our live gaming show every week. And then we also have a Patreon if you'd like to support independent gaming journalism, as we're an independent, non-monetized site, and you might have noticed you got no ads during this video because we don't do that around here. So, that's going to wrap us up. Thank you, as always. I look forward to sharing more statues with you in the future, and we'll see you next time. Peace.